This hour is brought to you by Sweetland Waste and Removal Service, a homegrown company serving southern Indiana since 1995.
Well, we're coming to your city. Gonna play our guitars and sing you a country song. We'll all be flying higher than a jetliner. And if you want a little bang in your yin yang, come along.
Well, come on along and welcome aboard to Indiana Sports Beat Radio with Coyle Leary. Jim Coyle with you as always. Todd Leary joining us as well live from the Tap here in Bloomington. Hope you're having a great day. If not, we're about to get it started for you. Welcome aboard, Todd Leary.
Thanks, boss. Excited to be here this morning.
Lots to talk about today. Indiana basketball back in action tomorrow. We're going to preview that game. Indiana women's basketball in action last night. They opened up their season with a big win. We'll talk about that as well. A little football action, too. Indiana's on a bye this week as they prepare to take on the Nittany Lions in Happy Valley next weekend. We'll talk about a lot of big games that are going on this weekend, though, involving Penn State and others in the Big Ten and others throughout college football. The college football playoff, there are games that will implement that would impact that, rather. Lots to get to on there. We're going to have the picks of the day, man. Lots of fun stuff to talk about, and we've got Todd Lee here with us all day long. We're live from the Tap here in Bloomington. Join us on Facebook Live as well. We appreciate you guys. If you got any questions, comments, throw them out there, man. We'll get to them. You can also hit us up on the text line, 812-269-6367. Same number as always. 812-269-6367. You can hit us up with questions, comments on there, as well as on Facebook Live. So we appreciate everybody joining us here. Coming to you from the Tap here in Bloomington, man. It is cool to be here. Cool to have Todd with us. Lots to talk to. First of all, I want to talk about the Indiana women's basketball team, Todd, last night. A great win for them. Well, it was a season opener over a team that they should have beat, but it was a great game. It was a great first half, let me say that. Their first half was pretty efficient. They scored 25 points in both first and the second period. Second half, they only scored 25 points combined, both periods. So they just slowed down a little bit. The shooting slowed down, but they were on fire early, especially Grace Berger, the sophomore from Louisville. She was 6 of 6 overall in the first half. She was 3 of 3 behind the three-point line. She was perfect at the free throw line. She had 18 first-half points, would finish with 24 overall, but a great game. And it's great to get a game like that from one of your under players. I don't know what else to call it, right. But that's a great sign. This is a team that is extraordinarily deep. I think they're 8 deep of players that they can rotate in that top 5 anytime for Coach Terry Moore.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fun place for a coach to be. And, you know, that game was really kind of paralleled the men's game from Tuesday night in that they got some really good performances. And they came out, they beat a team that they expected to win. And I think everyone expected the women's team to win, just like the men's team on Tuesday expected them to win that game. But it wasn't the win so much as you wanted to see how they played and how they gelled together. And I think it's exciting for the women's team to be able to come out and have there's been a lot of hype around Allie Patberg coming in this and being a big part of this team. And, you know, it's exciting for them to have someone else step up and have a great night like Berger had last night at 24 points. I mean, she had a real similar game to what Al Durham had for the men's team on Tuesday night. So, you know, she didn't miss a shot. It was just kind of an all-around good performance. And from a coaching staff's perspective, I know that's what they're looking for is they want to see, you know, they expected to win. If they had lost, it would have been just a catastrophe. But expecting to win, they just kind of wanted to see how everyone played together. And I think they were pretty excited about that first half.
And for those of you that are following us on Facebook Live, I know it looks like we're in the liquor closet at the Tap, but we're not. This is actually, we're up on the stage at the Tap. If you've ever been to the Tap in Bloomington, then you know it's a great place to come to. If you haven't, then you owe yourself the favor of doing that. They've got 80 beers on tap down there.
There's a lot.
As you can see, what a selection they have.
They obviously trust us around here because they're letting us sit up here next to all the beers.
There you go. But they have a stage that's sitting back behind the bar. The bar is that way, and the restaurant is out there. They look over people. They do all kinds of things up here. But this is where they have the music and whatnot. But that's why we're not at the beer closet. It just looks that way.
It's pretty awesome up here. I can tell you that. They're going to have a tough time getting us out of here.
I can't wait. We'll be back, as a matter of fact, back tomorrow for the post-game show after Indiana men's basketball takes on Portland State. That game is at 2 o'clock at the Simon Scott Assembly Hall. We should be on roughly around 4:15 with Surmise. With the second edition of After the Game with Todd Leary, as Todd will go over that. We appreciate everybody joining us on Facebook Live this morning, too. Something new we've added. Man, I love to go through all the names. Let's see if I can start. There's Tom, there's Bill, there's Kimberly, Tim, Becky, Jack, Jeff, Bruce, Beth, Nicholas. I ran out of room.
Do you have to name everybody?
No, but I want to since they're on. We appreciate you. John, Patty.
Appreciate it.
Tom says working but watching. Screw the man. Congrats. Good for you, Tom. We appreciate you, man. Tom had for a great listener of the program. We love that. That's hilarious, man. That's a good way to get our morning started.
We needed that on a nice Friday.
I'm telling you.
Morning out there. Thanks for the humor, Tom.
Any questions that you have, hit us up. You can hit us up on the text line, 812-269-6367. As always, 812-269-6367. Or since we're on Facebook Live, you can do like Tom and just send us a message. Working but watching. Screw the man. That is freaking hilarious, man. A big weekend for football games, man. There are some huge games in the Big Ten. A team in Indiana plays next week, Penn State. They've got a big game up in Minneapolis against an undefeated Minnesota team. Not getting a lot of respect in the college football playoff poll yet. The first one came out. They were 17th with an 8-0 record behind 6 teams with 2 losses. A lot of people complaining about that, but I'll be honest with you, Minnesota has played no one this year yet. And you can only play who's on your schedule. I get that. But there's no worries because that's going to be rectified very soon. Yep. They play Penn State this weekend. They've got Iowa coming up after that. They've got Wisconsin coming up after that. And if they get through that gauntlet, the reward is to go to the Big Ten championship game and probably play, well, who knows, Ohio State. It looks to be that way. If they get through those 4 teams, you're in. It doesn't matter. I don't care if they're 70th right now. If they make it through this gauntlet of Penn State and Iowa, Wisconsin, and then Ohio State, you have no worries. You'll be in the top 4.
Yeah,
so
that's
not a problem.
They would. They have, kind of everyone, especially everyone 8-0, has an opportunity to play their way into it. And it's kind of interesting how the committee set up this first poll with the first 4 teams because they really bailed themselves out of it. And I know Clemson fans are probably throwing a fit about the fact they're not in that top 4, but if you look at it, it's absolutely impossible for 2 of those teams to stay up there. Although I guess Alabama or LSU, if they lost, could still probably stay in that 5th, 6th place right there. But 2 of those teams are going to lose in the next couple of weeks. It's just they're playing each other, so there's no other way around it.
Yeah, there are some teams that can afford a loss. Minnesota is not one of those teams.
Yeah, for sure.
They cannot
the fact
afford
that they're in the
loss.
conversation is a big part of their – I mean, that helps recruiting. That's going to help every factor of their program. So
I'll tell you who it helps is the guy named P.J. Fleck, especially if he has any interest in that Florida State job.
Yeah.
Not to throw that out there, not to throw them under the bus, but that's that's
– somebody would leave Minneapolis to go to Florida?
I know. It'd be crazy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I can imagine.
And a loss. I think they can lose a close game to Penn State because they're at the top. Penn State is they're in. I don't know if maybe they can withstand a close loss to Ohio State. The problem is either one of those teams loses, they're not going to be able to play in the Big Ten. Probably won't be playing in the Big Ten championship game. Right. That's not always the case. It depends on how it works out. But not being in that Big Ten championship game, that's a team that you're like, they're going to have trouble getting in. Not to say that they can't, because obviously the SEC has done it. They did it last year, getting 2 teams in, with that not being the case. But we'll certainly find out. But Indiana football, of course, going forward, also without their starting quarterback, Michael Penix, it's a loss, but it's not as big a loss as it could have been.
For a lot of it's not as big as it would be for a lot of teams.
first of all, if Peyton Ramsey would have hit the transfer portal like 99% of other people probably would have done, Indiana's season would be in the toilet right now. But he didn't. He stayed, and man, kudos to him for doing that, because that's not what goes on in this day and age with players, Todd.
It's definitely not. I mean, and rightfully so. I mean, that's nothing against the players. I mean, I think it's probably one of the few good things the NCAA has done in the past few years, is because it is for the kids. It gives these kids an opportunity, to showcase their talents and go somewhere where there might be a school that has a need, and it might fit them a little bit better than, guys make a decision to go to college and play somewhere, and a lot changes in your physical status and stature, and how you grow from that time that you're 17, 18 years old and you make that decision to the time that you're a senior and 21 or 22 years old. So I think that's a good thing the NCAA has done. You're exactly right, though. You got to give Peyton Ramsey an enormous amount of credit for sticking it out, and that's kind of one of the that's one of the cool things about being at IU. I mean, it's pretty easy to stay here at IU. It's a great university, and he'll be thought of pretty highly for a long, long time because of that.
And now he gets a chance to be the guy again.
There's no question marks anymore. It's his game when he walks into it, and they're in a situation right now where they're going series for series, and you never knew which guy was going to come in and play, and now there's no questions, and that makes it a little bit easier for him to prepare, I bet.
Absolutely. Can you imagine that? That's not even a thought in his mind.
Right.
He doesn't have to worry about,
Right.
am I going to play this week, or am I probably going to play the second half? No, you're playing the whole time, man.
Right.
And we know what he can do. We know that he can deal with the stuff that comes with being that guy, because we saw it happen in
Sure.
Nebraska. Nebraska's not the team of old, but that's okay. Nebraska Stadium, where they play, it still is. There was still 90,000 people there that were very loud. He dealt with all that. He made great decisions. He did an incredible job leading that team, and he has done that all year when he's been asked to. So that'll continue. He gets a heck of a challenge going into Happy Valley next week. But this is not the first time he's been to Ohio State. He's played at these places. He's played at the Big House. That's his old hat for him. That's another thing that gives Indiana a huge advantage to me. He's got experience. He's like, it's old hat. He's ready to deal with it, and I think he's looking forward to the opportunity of showing that, hey, man, don't wrap me off just yet.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. It changes his mindset, but I don't think it changes the excitement level at all for him. I mean, I think he's probably more excited knowing that, he puts in the work, and he's definitely going to be the one out on the field. And he has proven it in the past, like you said. I mean, it's exciting. Football season is it's a little different animal than basketball. You've only got, those 11, 12, 13 at most opportunities to get out there on the field and showcase your talents. And, when you're splitting time with someone else, it even cuts that down even more. So this is a great opportunity for him. Indiana fans have to feel good and are very, very fortunate. Coaching staff has done a great job in having Indiana in this situation where they could sustain a season-ending injury for the starting quarterback and still be expecting to win the ball games they have coming up.
Got a lot to talk about this morning. We're going to be doing some picks of the week with a lot of big football games.
Man, if you need money, just listen later on today. I'm going to give you the picks of the week.
He thinks he is the guy.
Oh man, I will give you the key to the vault.
Key to the vault. Indiana basketball in action tomorrow as well, as they get back on the hardwood, taking on Portland State for an early afternoon game at the Simon Scott Assembly Hall. When you were playing, what was that? A Saturday afternoon game or Saturday night? Did it matter? A noon game?
Heck yeah,
talk about the time differences.
The 2 to 3:30 times are the best games because you have to eat 3.5 hours before you play, and you got to walk through before you eat. So if you play that noon game, you got to have a walkthrough at like 7:30 in the morning, and that's crap for a college kid. Nobody likes that. You want to sleep in at least, till 10 o'clock or so if you get that opportunity as a college kid. Like my son, he sleeps until 2:30 or 3 every day, so you know how that used to be. But the 2 o'clock game, 3:30 game, those are the best time slots because you get that pregame meal. It's kind of a breakfast / brunch-ish type meal, and you get to eat, you get to sleep in just a little bit, go through some walkthrough, and then you get to eat and be ready for the game. And so And also the cool part about that, especially when it's a home game, is you done by 5 or 6 o'clock at night, and there's a decent amount that goes on in Bloomington.
That was my very next question. I'm like, as I look down Kirkwood Avenue from my seat here, I'm like going, imagine that. I wonder what's going to be going on about 8, 9, 10 o'clock there.
Public relations is what the guys will be out doing. They'll
Public
be out,
relations,
they'll be
that's
out helping the community.
Selling tickets.
Community. Yeah.
Selling tickets. That's a good thing.
You got to do your part.
Maybe they can help push tickets for the football team, because that's another issue we're going to talk about this morning. The support that I'm not talking about the people that show up to the game. Well, yeah, we are going to talk about them too. But the people that show up to the games, great. That's half the battle, coming to the games and being out there. The students and all that, we're going to talk about that. They've done a great job showing up, but you guys got to stick around. We'll talk about all that more. But we're coming to you live from the tap here in B-Town on the square, the Southwest Square. Todd Leary right here. I'm Jim Coyle here on Indiana Sports Beat. We're back with more right after this.
Must be somebody above. Say, come on, Brittany. You got to come on up. You got to...
Hello, everybody. Jim Coyle from Indiana Sports Beat. When I'm not covering the Hoosiers, you can find me at Bubba's 33 in Clarksville, located on the northeast corner of I-65 at Veterans Parkway. Bubba's 33 has hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer from a select list of local craft brewers. An incredible food selection, all made fresh daily. Whether you're meeting the team for that post-win meal in the family dining area or meeting friends for happy hour to watch the game on one of Bubba's 50 TVs. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
Now that warm weather has arrived, it's time to hit the links, and there's no better place than the golf club at Eagle Point in Bloomington. Voted best golf course by the readers of the Bloomington Herald-Times, the golf club at Eagle Point is under new ownership, has new fairways and bunkers, and it's open to the public. When the round's over, there's cold beer and a full menu at the Eagle Point Pub and Bistro. Call 812-824-1100 to make a tee time. That's 812-824-1100. The golf club at Eagle Point in Bloomington.
This is A.J. Moye.
This is Dan Dockett.
Hey, this is Michael Lewis, former Indiana basketball player.
This is Indiana football coach Tom Allen.
This is Jim Coyle with the Indiana Sports Beat. You can always like and follow us on Facebook. Always follow the show rebroadcast on iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify. TheDailyHoosier.com is a great place to sign up for it each and every day. Or, of course, on 97.7 The Ref in Evansville. For the best recycling and waste removal service, turn to the area's leader, Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling, a homegrown company serving southern Indiana since 1995. Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling serves Floyd, Clark, Harrison, and Washington counties. For excellent service and peace of mind, call Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling today at 812-944-5642. That's 812-944-5642. Keep life sweet with Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling.
I'm Rain Shaddy, and I'm a Hoosier. As a toddler, you could always find me running around in a cream and crimson onesie and a red IU hat reminiscent of those worn during the world-famous William Tell timeout, shouting, "Go Hoosiers!" Like many other alum, I chose to make Bloomington my home. As a civic and alumni leader, I have become very knowledgeable about our community and would love to share my insights with you as your realtor. Find me on Facebook or call or text me, Ryan Shaddy, with FC Tucker Bloomington Realtors at 765-623-9093.
You're on the line with Jamal Meeks, former Indiana Hoosier, number 23, 1992. And I'm on the beat with Jim Coyle.
Today's guest is brought to you by Reynolds Family Dentistry of Sellersburg. You need $1 million smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you'll get with Reynolds Family Dentistry.
Hey, little sister, who is it you're with? Hey, little sister, what's your
Welcome back to Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Jim Coyle, Todd Leary here coming to you live from the tap right off of Kirkwood here in Bloomington. What a day. What a spot.
Boy, it's
Great to be
beautiful.
here. Thanks a lot.
It's real nice to be inside considering how cold it is. 28 degrees
Oh, my
walking in here.
God. What happened? I mean, that's about a month early for
One
that,
month
man.
ago, I bet it was in the high 80s. Might have even been
18
90.
and it was 18 degrees this morning.
Yeah,
That's terrible. That's not right.
Terrible.
But appreciate everybody joining us. We're actually on simulcasting on Facebook Live today as well. Got a question, Bill. Hey Todd, what happened in the U of L game in the '93 tournament when Calvert Chaney got a technical? Do you remember that?
I do not.
He's got to jog his
when he
memory.
went face to face with what was that guy's name? You know what I'm talking about? The picture.
Do you? Well, Bill, he's going to have to run his mind on that one for a little bit. Jennifer wants to know: do you know if your other former teammates will be at the event next Saturday?
Yeah, a bunch will be. They'll be. I've seen a list of like 10 or 12, but I
assume she's talking about that fan page event.
Yeah, the Hoosier Hysterics event they're having next week at the Bluebird. It'll be a fun time. That podcast that those guys do is fun. They're fun to talk to. They've talked to a bunch of guys, and you know what? They're just straight up Indiana fans. They're Indiana basketball fans. They just do a good job of creating, coming up with lists of questions. And heck, I think I talked to him for almost 4 hours one day.
Yeah, but I got.
I like to hear
you
myself
think anybody
talk.
listens for 4 hours?
Heck no. I didn't listen to it for 4 hours. I did it on a drive from Indy back to Paducah, and it took up almost my whole time, and it was awesome. I loved every second.
And Jennifer is on vacation today and not working. Well, great. You could have came down and joined us.
Girl.
Bill Evans, Dwayne Morton. That's the U of L player he's talking about.
Oh yeah. Isn't that the picture where they're like nose to nose?
Oh,
in that I think
yeah,
they've got double
that.
technicals. Calvert would never get Calvert. I don't think. I'm going to say Calvert never got a technical, like just straight up. He got a technical. I think that was two guys that they that were just jawing back and forth. I think it was probably a double technical, but Calvert is. It'd be tough to give him a technical. That was one of those situations they probably were forced to. But Calvert also wasn't going to back down from anyone, and he was like 2 inches taller than Dwayne Morton. So looking down on him, that picture is pretty impressive from Calvert's standpoint.
You're listening to Indiana Sports Beat. Jim Coyle, Todd Leary coming to you live from the Tap here in Bloomington, right off of Kirkwood Avenue. Big football games up this weekend. I'm trying to look at some of them right now. Texas Tech, West Virginia. I don't see a spread on that one. So
I mean, there's only one big football game.
Well,
that's really all. I mean, Big Ten
there's two.
fans. You consider Penn State and Minnesota? Is that what you're talking about?
yeah, of course it's big. It's got implications into the college football playoffs for both of those teams. One of those is going to either stay up, and one is just going to be. It's all going to be over. If Minnesota loses that game, it's over for them. Their dream dies quickly, I think.
Look, they're a good football team, so
absolutely.
That's not what I'm saying here, but they're not in that discussion. Let's be for real. I mean, they're 8-0. They have, I don't have a top.
Well, that's a spread not up on. I don't understand why they're not showing a spread for the Minnesota.
Which
game.
the Illinois win's a good win now, considering what they've done. But they beat Purdue, Illinois, Nebraska, Rutgers, and Maryland, and I mean that's 5-0 in the Big Ten. Is
Bloomington South in there anywhere?
I mean, that's if you could pick the 5 teams that you wanted to play in the Big Ten, I think that's probably the 5 teams you would have picked so far.
That's who Scott Frost from Nebraska would like to play because he certainly complained about it otherwise, having to play the big boys.
Yeah, well,
I don't see a spread on the Penn State game. It's not on my list.
Yeah,
Purdue.
You just don't know where
at Northwestern. Northwestern is a 1.5 point favorite. Now
Penn State's a 6.5 point favorite at Minnesota. I mean, if you have the ability to roll out your 401k and take a loan out on it, Penn State might want to be your play for the weekend.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I'm on that too. I'm on the same train with that, man.
Minnesota is a good team. They're a decent team. But they're not an 8-0 team at this time of the season. Now they've won all 8 of their games, so they're an 8-0 team based on who they've played, but they've played some really bad teams.
I'm in complete agreement. They have not played have they played a team with a winning record?
Not in the Big Ten, for sure.
I don't think they played one.
Does Illinois have a winning record?
Who?
Illinois.
Ooh. I'm going to go with no, but they got to be close because
I can tell you.
they're probably just under maybe. But I'll tell you, a good game actually is Purdue Northwestern only because they're equally matched, not because it's going to be a spectacular game, but equally matched.
If
Northwestern's
you are
at home.
just trying to get me to talk bad about Purdue, it's not going to work.
Who?
Yeah, if you're just trying to get me to talk bad about them, it's not going to work.
It's
not an exciting game.
Neither I or Purdue need your help talking bad about them. They are bad. They're 3-6.
Illinois has a winning record. They're 5-4.
Look at that.
So
now, how bad is that? The only team you played with a winning record is Illinois. How bad is that?
That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
Maryland is at Ohio State. Golly, that's going to be a pummeling.
Yeah, that's a exhibition game. But yeah, I mean, when you talk about good games and you talk about what's around the country, I mean that 2:30 game is the game, or 3:30 game here. I live in Evansville, so
let's go back to basketball for a while.
All right.
Indiana basketball back on the court Saturday. First game, they did what they were supposed to do. They took care of business. They played well. You get a great performance from Justin Smith. He did pretty much everything he was supposed to do. He didn't take too many three-pointers. He did most of his work within 10 feet of the basket. He had 24 points, tied a career high. That's the kind of performance you want from Justin Smith. That's the kind of performance you need from Justin Smith as this team goes forward, because you add to that the job that Al Durham did that night. What a job shooting. And that's got to be a really welcome surprise, his shooting and getting that kind of production from someone you hope to, but you haven't really seen that yet, but you knew it was there. We saw it the other night.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, your first comment on Justin Smith, yes, they got what they wanted out of him. I think he got what he wanted out of him. He got to be athletic. He got to go up and down the court. He made some shots. Hit the one 3-pointer that he missed was a terrible, terrible shot. And, that's my bugaboo about him all year long. Last year was wanting to shoot those 3-pointers. But, sometimes I get caught up in the old school, belief in that as soon as you take one bad shot, you go to the bench. And that's just not really the way it happens anymore, fortunately for a lot of players. But, Justin Smith played a really good ball game. He led him in scoring, so it's going to be probably the first person that gets talked about. But I think Al Durham's performance was probably not probably, in my opinion, is without a doubt the one that controlled the game, got the game going in Indiana's direction, extended the lead out from a time when they were behind to taking it up to being ahead by 15 plus points in the first half. And Indiana is going to have those opportunities where different guys can step up all the time. But I think Al Durham put himself in a position to, kind of be on a watch list, and it's just a self-created watch list. But he could put himself in a position of one of the premier guards in the country. He doesn't have to shoot 7 for 7 every weekend, but he's got to have those solid performances. And I really think that when you look at the fact that he scored when they needed to, and his 21 points were more important they came at a more important time than Justin Smith's 24 points. So there's definitely a factor to that. And Al Durham's performance to me was for sure the shining spot of it.
And not only that, but he did it switching roles, going from playing some point guard to off guard. He was playing both positions. That is also a great sign for Archie, knowing that he's going to need, well, right now he needs it, but there's going to be going forward. He's going to need that guy, that backup guy at the point for Rob Finnessy. He's on some limited minutes right now. Don't know when that's going to be eased up, because he looked fine when he was in there.
Yeah.
Man, you talk about efficient. That's another one. Extremely efficient. He only played, I think, 18 minutes. He had 14 points. What a job he did coming off. He didn't score a ton last year. And if you can start getting scoring from the point as well as around you, that's a pretty good offense.
Yeah, well, that's the first game that he's played in that one or two players. I mean, I don't think there's any question. Last year the offense was designed to put the ball into Romeo's hands and to put the ball in Juwan Morgan's hands. And I really don't think that there's anyone on this team so far and really overall that they're going to be in that position. They're going to run an offense. They're going to run plays that can, have probably 3 different options of a guy who can score on it. Versus last year, you might run a couple of ball screens and you're running some motion, but your set is really based on getting the ball into 2 guys' hands. And this is the first game Finney's played where that's not the case, where, he's out there playing as a guard. I think we could probably take the labels off of, Rob Finney and Al Durham and Armand Franklin of point guard, 2 guard, whatever guard. I think it's more going to be a 2 to 3 guard lineup most of the year, and it's going to be interchangeable as to which one of those guys actually is the point guard. Because in today's game, hell, they'll have the 3-man bringing the ball up the floor half the time.
Yeah, they were pretty efficient the other night, but we noticed that there was that short time, there was a lull, but it seemed to be predicated on what lineup was on the floor and how that changed the efficiency of their offense. They went through a period where they turned the ball over for 4 or 5 minutes or so. They did not hit a shot in that span, but their lineup was slightly different, and then they got back to a lineup that was much more conducive and free-flowing, it seemed like.
Yeah, I mean, here's the tough part about these games is, and when I say these games, I mean the opponent maybe not being at the caliber of what you're going to play in the Big Ten. But when you're playing these games, it's tough for a lot of people being fans like myself, when you don't start out and they're not ahead, 15-4, and the game kind of starts out even. You start looking at the clock, you start looking at the scoreboard, you start kind of thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, they're not playing very well. This team is hanging with them, and it's so early. Like, that's why it's a 40-minute game, and that's why over time, players are very, very talented. The point guard, I forget his name, but the point guard from Western Illinois last week that was from Park Tudor, extremely talented kid. I mean, that's a difficult kid to defend. He can score. When you get a guard that can handle the ball and is quick, a cat like that, and can score, those are difficult guys to defend. And it takes a little bit more time to, I think, get yourself in a position where you establish the long term, what the game's going to be like over 40 minutes and the longer term of that game. And you impose your will upon them. And that's not always exciting for fans. They want to see them come out and they want to see lob dunks from the very beginning, me being one of those fans. And so, I truly will keep going back to in that first game. Yes, it was the different lineups on the floor. I do think Archie was trying to see how some guys played together, how it was having 2 bigs on the floor at the same time. But overall, I think Al Durham just put the team on his back during that little lull. I think it was probably about the 7 minutes into the first half to about 11 minutes, so the 13-minute mark to the 9-minute mark. I really think that Al Durham put him on his back at that point, and he did most of the scoring. He scored 3 baskets in a row, 2 of them being threes, and got a steal and a rebound. That's a big 4-minute stretch.
We've talked a lot about how they did offensively. Bill said what impressed him the most was how well they were in sync with the team's defensive scheme. They did seem to be. They didn't. Man, I remember 2 years ago watching, it was the Fort Wayne game, when they were literally 5 to 6 feet away from their guy with their head turning around, not knowing where to be.
Right.
It was such a weird deal to look back at that and look at this. Even Demezy Anderson, who the knock on him has been his lack of ability to catch on to this. He looked pretty locked in the other night to me, as well as the entire team.
Yeah, well, I would probably say that's their coach's mentality and philosophy. I mean, you're going to be. You look back at the Dayton teams that Archie had. I mean, if you were going to describe them overall and really just had to say what was better, offense or defense, I think everyone would say their defense. They were locked in defensively and had a game plan, and were all really good defensive players that, as a big unit, made it difficult to score against, and that's what you want your defense to be. And I think Archie, as he get into years 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of him, he'll have guys that all understand. You've got to play defense, and you've got to play defense together. Defense is even as much more of a team-oriented thing than offense is. Everybody talks about their offense gelling and working together, and defense is the same way. And I think these guys are getting a little bit. That first game, we don't know when they're playing Michigan State or how it'll be right now, but for November, the whatever it was of that game Tuesday night, they came out and they did what I think we wanted to see them do.
Well, and granted that the competition level is not what it will be later on, but you at least seeing them do what they're supposed to do in a game like that's a good sign, because there have been times where it hasn't. If it's a 10-point game or an 8-point game, you're like, what's going on here? You should be beating them by 25, which they did. I mean, but and the first game of the year, that's also a good sign to see coming out like that and being able to get in that flow, whether it's an offensive or defensive flow or both. That's a great sign right off the bat. They're back at it tomorrow. That's anything different or something else that you're going to be looking for that you didn't see in that game Tuesday night?
I'll be looking to see kind of who steps up. You'll be looking to see, I'll watch the game to see if when they start out, if Al Durham's forcing it, since he went 7 for 7 in the game, all of a sudden, is he going to be looking for a shot right off the bat? I don't think he looked for a shot the other night. I think he let the game come to him. It was 7 minutes in before he really went on a run. And he did shoot the ball 3 times in a row and obviously made all 3 of them. But, I do think that I'll be looking to see how he reacts to that. I'll be looking to see how Justin Smith reacts to his good performance that he had. Does he come out and, get involved in the flow of the offense, or does he come out, trying to establish scoring right off the bat? I know you've talked about it ad nauseum with him. Like, he impacts the game, and Indiana needs him to impact the game in a bunch of different categories before scoring comes into it. And yes, his scoring is great and a bonus, but he needs to establish himself as a rim protector and a rebounder first and foremost in every ball game. And I'll be looking to see how guys kind of respond to that first game. I think they had some success. I know Coach Dockett used to always say to us, it's easy to play as a front runner. And at what he meant in that regard was when things are going great, it's, easy to go out and play and do well. That's why I was really interested in watching when Indiana got behind in that first ball game with Western Illinois. I was interested to see how they responded and how they, who stepped up. And that's why I keep giving Al Durham so much credit, because when they looked like they were struggling, Al Durham's the guy who picked them up. And I don't want them to struggle in this next ball game against Portland State, but I do want to see, who comes out and really establishes themselves as the leader in this ball game. And I think even further down the road, that'll start to establish who's going to be the leader of this team.
Tim says the Portland State runs a pressure defense. We'll talk about that when we come back. We're going to talk about Indiana men's soccer as they begin the Big Ten men's tournament on Sunday here at home. At Bill Armstrong Stadium. Check that out. And we'll talk about IU's Bull Hopes as well when we come back here. We're live from the tap right off of Kirkwood here in Bloomington today. Todd Leary, Jim Coyle with you here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Back with more right after this. Hello, everybody. Jim Coyle from Indiana Sports Beat. When I'm not covering the Hoosiers, you can find me at Bubba's 33 in Clarksville, located on the northeast corner of I-65 at Veterans Parkway. Bubba's 33 has hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer from a select list of local craft brewers. An incredible food selection, all made fresh daily. Whether you're meeting the team for that post-win meal in the family dining area or meeting friends for happy hour to watch the game on one of Bubba's 50 TVs. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
Now that warm weather has arrived, it's time to hit the links, and there's no better place than the golf club at Eagle Point in Bloomington. Voted best golf course by the readers of the Bloomington Herald-Times, the golf club at Eagle Point is under new ownership, has new fairways and bunkers, and it's open to the public. When the round's over, there's cold beer and a full menu at the Eagle Point Pub and Bistro. Call 812-824-1100 to make a tee time. That's 812-824-1100. The golf club at Eagle Point in Bloomington.
This is AJ Moye.
This is Dan Dockett.
Hey, this is Michael Lord, former Indiana basketball players.
This is Indiana football coach Tom Allen.
This is Jim Coyle with the Indiana Sports Beat. You can always like and follow us on Facebook. Always follow the show rebroadcast on iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify. TheDailyHoosier.com is a great place to sign up for each and every day. Or, of course, on 97.7 The Ref in Evansville. For the best recycling and waste removal service, turn to the area's leader, Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling, a homegrown company serving southern Indiana since 1995. Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling serves Floyd, Clark, Harrison, and Washington counties. For excellent service and peace of mind, call Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling today at 812-944-5642. That's 812-944-5642. Keep life sweet with Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling.
I'm Rain Shaddy, and I'm a Hoosier. As a toddler, you could always find me running around in a cream and crimson onesie and a red IU hat reminiscent of those worn during the world-famous William Tell timeout, shouting, "Go Hoosiers!" Like many other alum, I chose to make Bloomington my home. As a civic and alumni leader, I have become very knowledgeable about our community and would love to share my insights with you as your realtor. Find me on Facebook or call or text me, Ryan Shaddy, with FC Tucker Bloomington Realtors at 765-623-9093.
This is James Blackman Jr., former Indiana Hoosier. Make sure you're keeping up with the Hoosiers on Indiana Sports Beat.
Today's guest is brought to you by Bubba's 33 in Clarksville with hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer. Pizza, burgers, beer. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Welcome back to Indiana Sports Beat Radio, coming to you live from the Tap in Bloomington, right off of Kirkwood Avenue. Todd Leary with me, Jim Coyle here. Hope you're having a great day and a great Friday. It's beautiful out there. It's cold as hell, but it's beautiful.
It's ridiculous.
Lots going on this weekend in Indiana basketball on Saturday at the Simon Scott Assembly Hall. The Hoosiers taking on Portland State in Game 2 of their season. Tim says that they use 10 players to keep them fresh. Todd, put that pressure defense on. Sounds like a little 40 minutes of hell from Nolan Richardson in the Arkansas days.
Well, I mean, it'll be fun to watch, how Indiana responds to that, if that's the case, if they're coming out. I mean, full court pressure is it's one of those things in high school, AAU ball, it works great against teams that aren't very good. But if you've got good guards and they come out and pressure you a lot, that's kind of a guard's dream. I love to see a guy. I'd much rather a guy come out and try to pressure me like crazy because I'm not that quick, for one, and it helps. The closer he is to me, the easier it is for me to create some foul trouble and things like that. But if they come out and put a lot of pressure on them, that'll be a good thing for Indiana, I think. I think the guards will do a great job at handling it. We don't have any guards that are, super turnover prone. I think Armand Franklin might have been the guy we questioned about that to start, and he had 8 assists and no turnovers in the first game. So it'll be nice to see how Indiana responds to a team that comes out and tries to pressure.
Before I forget, Sunday at Bill Armstrong Stadium, the Indiana men's soccer team in action as they open up play in the quarterfinal round of the Big Ten tournament. Of course, Indiana won the Big Ten championship again this year. Unbelievable, dude. They lost. They had 14 new faces on this team this year, the soccer team. Coach Yeagley at one point was starting 7 freshmen, and they won the Big Ten title again with Maryland in the conference, who is the defending national champion.
Yeah, I mean, the Yeagleys and the program that they have put together here in Bloomington is, it's legendary. It's impressive. It's just fun to Indiana fans. It's another championship caliber program that you just love to brag about and talk about. And, it's kind of one of those situations where if they weren't any good, Indiana fans would just never talk about them. But because, they're always good, you're always looking to see what the scores are. I mean, Indiana fans, for sure, even if they don't talk about it as much, they're always looking to see, and they love it when Indiana wins in other programs besides basketball and football. And that soccer program has definitely done that over the years.
Back to football, Indiana football. They're on a bye this week, of course, as they prepare to take on the Penn State Nittany Lions next week. Penn State, though, they're not off. They don't have a bye. They got a big game up in Minneapolis against Minnesota, where they are a 6.5-point favorite against the Golden Gophers, a game that has implications for the college football playoffs. Obviously, Penn State, number 4 right now, they are in. They've got to keep winning to get in, but that includes a date with Ohio State and with whomever ends up being the Western Division champion for the Penn State Lions. That's their path to the college football playoffs. I don't know that they get in with a loss. I don't know why, but
they 1,000,000% don't get in with a loss.
You don't think?
No chance.
Yeah, it's just going to be difficult. But there's going to be so many teams that have a
Oregon.
loss.
Oregon's going to be sitting right there. I mean, Georgia is the next one down.
Yeah, but compare
6.
the schedules. Look who Penn State plays versus they play Michigan, they play Ohio State, they play Indiana. Isn't it funny? Now people are saying they play Indiana. I've heard it on BTN, awesome. On ESPN. It's amazing. The other day, like going, hey, they played in that 7-2 Indiana team. Let me tell you, they're good.
Indiana's been that scare game. I think when you hear the analysts talk early in the season. Year after year,
trap
I think,
games.
Yeah, that's the scare game, especially if they have to go to Indiana. That's the scare trap game. This year, it's not. This year, it's a great win. So these guys are preparing for Indiana because they're going out and proving that they're a team that could beat you in several different ways, and that makes it difficult to prepare for them.
Off the football for just a second, a question off of Facebook Live from Andy. Does Coach Knight return to Assembly Hall this year? Well, that's a question that is on everyone's mind.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say there's a decent chance he's there tomorrow. To be honest with you, he was at Culver's the Laskowskis. He was with Culver's last night. I'm kind of going out on a limb here. I'm going to say there's a decent chance you see his face in Assembly Hall tomorrow.
Man, you just created a firestorm. There's probably going to be 40,000 people at Assembly Hall tomorrow. It only holds 17.
No, I'm not saying it to stir anything up. I'm just saying it's a different Bob Knight than it was 5 years ago when he made all the statements about not ever coming back and things like that. Things change. Things are different. He's here in town. There's a game tomorrow. You just never know.
Is a game like Portland State rather than Michigan State a game where he would do that, or do you think that has any bearing?
I think if there's a way that he could go there and sit in the president's suite and be away from everyone, I think that he'd probably have a decent chance of being there. I don't think the game would really matter in that regard.
I don't care where he is. If he's in the hall, the attention will not be on that floor.
And truly, this is where I'll give him a lot of credit. I think that's probably a reason why he would not go. If he did go, it would be a scheduled event where he was there, for a halftime. You talk about not selling any popcorn at halftime. Have a Bob Knight presentation at halftime of any of these games, and there will be 17,000 people sitting in their seat, me being one of them.
There's your answer, Tom, Andy. Tom says, I think if wins with Michigan and PU, I can't read that.
What's it say?
Oh, he's talking about Penn State.
I think wins with Michigan and Penn State. Well, lost Penn State gets them in a Gator Bowl. Yeah, I don't know how to predict those bowls. I know how to predict, what seed a basketball team is going to be. I don't know how to sit here and say. I heard you say the other day that they have a good chance of being in a Florida Bowl.
We'll talk about that.
I don't understand how to kind of guess that.
Well, basically because all these bowls have tie-ins with the conferences. First of all, like the Outback Bowl. That's a great bowl, man. That's a New Year's Day.
Yeah, they got great. You talk about blooming onions. I mean, that's a terrific bowl.
Yeah, but you generally have to win 9 games to get into that bowl because they get I think it's the 3rd or 4th pick. But usually a Big Ten team, the first one is getting siphoned off to a college football playoffs.
Sure.
And
then the next one will be the Rose Bowl.
So that's it changes, and then also it changes. It depends, and if your conference has teams going to the college football playoffs, because you want that. because the more that you have of that,
Right.
that lightens it up. That,
Sure.
that
It moves
raises
everybody
you up.
one. Yeah. Sure.
But like say the Outback Bowl in Orlando or Tampa rather, that's about a 9-win bowl. And I'm thinking that they have to upset Michigan or Penn State and beat Purdue, of course, to get that 9th win to get into the Outback Bowl. A bowl I'm pretty comfortable with them making it to right now is in Jacksonville, the Gator Bowl. 8 wins, which I cannot imagine them not winning 8. I'm not saying they can't beat Penn State or Michigan. It's a tough ask. Penn State's an extremely tough ask on the road, Beaver Stadium, 100,000 plus. But they've taken Michigan to overtime the last 2 times they've been here, so that's not out of the question. It's possible. Beating Purdue, they don't beat Purdue. That's going to be a horrible upset there. But that would get them the 8th win. So at 8-4, they look real good. I'm not saying they couldn't get into the Outback Bowl with 8 wins. It depends on what goes on at the top.
Right.
If you happen to get Penn State into the college football playoffs along with Ohio State, I'm just saying. It's possible. East is as strong right now with Penn State.
Who was
and
the second team that got in from the SEC?
I don't remember. Was it Georgia? I think it was Georgia. But it
wasn't
happen.
last year. 2 years ago, that was the case. But regardless of whatever year that is, whether
He's
that
questioning
second
me.
team, whether that second team in the SEC is Georgia or LSU or Alabama or whoever that is, those teams are all better than Penn State. Like Penn State is.
That's your opinion. I don't agree with that.
That's why I sit up here and give my opinion. I agree. that's all I'm giving you is my opinion.
There's other bowls.
I just gave you my
possibilities,
opinion.
too.
Coach Knight's going to be at Assembly Hall tomorrow. That's not fact. That's just my opinion.
Andy liked that too. Straight from the mouth of the Toddfather.
I'm just saying, if you had tickets, you might want to make sure you attend that game.
Does the Toddfather have a crystal ball and the ability to see into the future? Bill wants to know.
Crystal, definitely not. I mean, look at some of the bad decisions I've made in my life, and it's pretty obvious that I don't have a crystal ball because if I signed up for what some of those results were, I got some issues.
I love the honesty of this man. That's what makes him so great and so good to hear on this
You
show.
can't hide from the truth.
Coming to you live from the tap here on in Bloomington, right off of Kirkwood. Man, what a great time to be
love
here.
this place.
This is awesome to be here. Again, Finney Hospitality Group. What a job they have done for the city of Bloomington. Social Cantina up the street.
They brought Coyle and Leary live
Boom.
on site.
Boom.
I mean, this place is
Boom, baby.
They're making
And then,
it
of
happen.
course, tonight. Say that again, Jake. Tonight's a big deal. It's a soft opening.
Soft opening for
Soft
Yogis,
opening
yeah.
for Yogis in
Yeah.
Bloomington. Yogis is back, man. That's
Tonight and tomorrow.
unbelievable.
Are we allowed to say that? Is that public knowledge?
It's too late. We already did.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
But it's a soft opening. That means you can't go. That's it.
Are we allowed to say the next
Yogis is opening soon.
sometime?
I
we
heard
might
it's
be
opening
doing
Monday.
this-
I think it's
sometime
Monday.
we might be doing the show from.
I think the
Yogis.
grand opening is Monday.
Yeah, it is. for
Oh,
sure.
you think that?
That's why we're
Oh,
doing our
are
show
we-
on Tuesday. That's why we're doing our show Tuesday.
When's the next game?
Tuesday.
The next game is Tuesday?
Yeah.
Where's the post-game show? Where's the post-game show going to be?
Yogis.
What?
Yogis.
No, get out of here.
Bring it.
We're going to be live from Yogis Tuesday? Oh, my God.
Saying. I haven't
Hey.
asked him yet, but we're just going to find out.
Man,
Just kidding.
I guess it's too late now. The cat's out of the bag. Hey, man, that's one of the big announcements I've been waiting to make. I'm so excited. After the game with Todd Leary, after Saturday's game tomorrow, we'll be ready to move over to our new home at Yogi's. Man, we're so excited
Super
about that.
excited.
Looking forward to it. And when you're coming into Bloomington, make sure you go visit, man. I can't wait to try out some of that old Yogi's food, man.
And we were privy enough to get some inside information on some new things that are going to be on the menu. Man, this place is going to be legit.
But they're bringing the old Yogi's food back, so don't worry
yeah.
about that.
Most
All the
of
good
it.
stuff.
They just got some additions.
Yeah, just some
Cool
add-ons,
additions.
man.
I mean, if there's one thing you ask about what Finney Hospitality has brought to this town, and this town will thank them for the food that's been brought here. Because every location has you and I've tried them out all week long. We
Well,
tried a different one, and they're
And I'll
all
tell you,
good.
the difficult thing I'm having right now is smelling whatever it is that they're cooking right now because it's driving me nuts. I am so hungry, and it smells so good. But anyway, yeah, Yogi's it's going into where the old Scotty's used to be. If you don't know where that is, it's about a block up from the Bluebird on the same side of the street. For you old timers, it's kind of across the street from the old Jake's. You ever go there?
Never heard of it.
What?
Kidding. Of course I went there.
Yeah, Jake's, man.
We went there in high school. We used to go there in high school and we played AAU games. I don't know, somehow Pat Knight got us in there all the time. Am I allowed to say that on there?
No, again.
Yeah,
it's too late. You already did.
Yeah, we did it. We did it.
But yeah, what a great time. Lots of big games coming up this weekend. We'll be talking about that and more when we come back.
Are you going to remind everyone that I'm going to give them the key to the vault this weekend in our bet?
But do it right now.
No.
We only got a minute left
Save
in the radio hour, so do it now.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
All right, you got to stick around after that, so we'll talk about all that. Indiana off this week, but the big game of the week to me is LSU, Alabama. Which game are you giving the vault to? Keys to the vault?
That one.
That one?
That one.
Ooh, the big pick. The Alabama LSU pick. Where's that game being played?
Alabama.
It's in
LSU
Tuscaloosa.
Take the 6.5 points. LSU is your play. LSU is the best team in college football.
I don't disagree with you. I'm on that same ticket.
LSU is it.
I'm on that same ticket. On that same ticket. What about Indiana and Portland State?
I don't know. Is there a line on that?
No, I'm kidding. Of course not.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Of course not. Hey,
football, I can give you those locks.
We've got a lot more coming up, but we're about to take a break. We're coming to you live from the Tap in Bloomington here on right off of Kirkwood Avenue. Todd Leary, Jim Coyle, Indiana Sports Beat Radio. We're back with more right after this.
Blackjack, baby, meet me out back. We're gonna boogie. Oh, get down, turn around, go to town, boot scoot boogie.
Hello, everybody. Jim Coyle from Indiana Sports Beat. When I'm not covering the Hoosiers, you can find me at Bubba's 33 in Clarksville, located on the northeast corner of I-65 at Veterans Parkway. Bubba's 33 has hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer from a select list of local craft brewers. An incredible food selection, all made fresh daily. Whether you're meeting the team for that post-win meal in the family dining area or meeting friends for happy hour to watch the game on one of Bubba's 50 TVs. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
Now that warm weather has arrived, it's time to hit the links, and there's no better place than the golf club at Eagle Point in Bloomington. Voted best golf course by the readers of the Bloomington Herald-Times, the golf club at Eagle Point is under new ownership, has new fairways and bunkers, and it's open to the public. When the round's over, there's cold beer and a full menu at the Eagle Point Pub and Bistro. Call 812-824-1100 to make a tee time. That's 812-824-1100. The golf club at Eagle Point in Bloomington.
This is AJ Moye.
This is Dan Dockett.
Hey, this is Michael Lord, former Indiana basketball player.
This is Indiana football coach Tom Allen.
This is Jim Coyle with the Indiana Sports Beat. You can always like and follow us on Facebook. Always follow the show rebroadcast on iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify. TheDailyHoosier.com is a great place to sign up for each and every day. Or, of course, on 97.7 The Ref in Evansville. For the best recycling and waste removal service, turn to the area's leader, Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling, a homegrown company serving southern Indiana since 1995. Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling serves Floyd, Clark, Harrison, and Washington counties. For excellent service and peace of mind, call Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling today at 812-944-5642. That's 812-944-5642. Keep life sweet with Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling.
I'm Rain Shaddy, and I'm a Hoosier. As a toddler, you could always find me running around in a cream and crimson onesie and a red IU hat reminiscent of those worn during the world-famous William Tell timeout, shouting, "Go Hoosiers!" Like many other alum, I chose to make Bloomington my home. As a civic and alumni leader, I have become very knowledgeable about our community and would love to share my insights with you as your realtor. Find me on Facebook or call or text me, Ryan Shaddy, with FC Tucker Bloomington Realtors at 765-623-9093.
Hey, this is Jordan Halls, former Indiana Hoosier. Keep up with Indiana sports on Indiana Sports Beat.
Welcome back to Indiana Sports Beat Radio, coming to you here on this Friday, live from the Tap in Bloomington, right off of Kirkwood. What a beautiful sight that is, looking out there and seeing Kirkwood Avenue, man.
And the sun, it looks awesome out. It just feels terrible.
And for those of you joining us on Facebook Live, you can see the wonderful beer selection behind us for the Tap.
We're in Jim's basement.
Yeah, if you've actually just joined us late on Facebook Live, we're not in my basement. We're not in a closet. This is the stage at the Tap, and they just keep their beer behind them. What a great marketing ploy, huh?
They paid us with beer.
Yes, paid
us with all this beer.
But
unfortunately, neither one of us drinks. Oh yeah, you drink a beer occasionally.
Yeah, my bag's not big enough to carry it out anyway, so it's not that big a deal. But hey, hit us up on the text line if you like. Any questions for Todd? Let's see. How about NASCAR? Who makes it to Miami to race for the championship? 4-man cutoff is after the weekend's race. Hope my boy Chase Elliott wins to make one of those 4 spots. I can honestly say not one time. That's the first time I remember ever in nearly 500 shows, hint, of mentioning NASCAR.
Somebody mentioned NASCAR?
Yeah,
I'm not your guy.
I watch NASCAR. I do, Tim, so don't worry. I watch NASCAR.
There was a period of time when I watched NASCAR. And it was on TV.
Oh, I was going to say, your girl, whoever that was a NASCAR freak?
Nope. I was in prison, and the only thing they would allow on the TV on the weekends was NASCAR.
There's not that, and I would think that by this now I would not be shocked, but boy,
every time I say that,
yeah. Boom, those are right out there.
It's just the truth. I mean, you want to watch golf? That's not the place to go.
I would imagine that. I could probably come up with a whole lot of other reasons.
Not the place to go. Yeah, there's other reasons, but that's not the place to go.
Yeah. So, Tim, we hope. Yeah, we'll see how that turns out. So maybe that gets there. All right, the big game this weekend: LSU Alabama football game. Indiana's off this week with a bye. Big game in the Big Ten, of course. I guess it's got to be Penn State, Minnesota. I can't think of another bigger game than that this weekend in the Big Ten. But LSU, Alabama.
Any game Ohio State's in's a big game.
Who?
Ohio State, Maryland. It's a big game just because they're ranked number 1.
Big game for who?
National implications.
Yeah, that's like playing a warm-up game for them.
Do you honestly think that the game is going to be close? The Penn State Minnesota game is going to be close. I'm asking. I'm not saying you're wrong.
What constitutes close?
Within a touchdown.
I think that yes, I do. I think because of where it is, I think that PJ Fleck has been rowing that boat all year long. They're all beefed up, man. They're ready. They've been rolling those oars. They've been rowing that boat all year long. He's got them. Hey, confidence can do a lot of crazy things. A confident team, when you get 100 guys together that are on the same page and confident, they can achieve. And if you don't believe that, look at this Indiana football team. Look what Tom Allen has done, because I'll be honest with you, from an X's and O standpoint, I don't know that he's there yet. You know, he's still an infant, a baby, as far as being a head coach early. He's only been with the third year, so. But his passion, his desire, his uncompromising willingness to do the right things has led this team to a place that most people didn't think. So, getting back to Minnesota, obviously PJ Fleck has had to do some similar things. And yeah, they're 8-0 playing on a kind of a soft schedule, but they've been dominant in those games. That's the one thing. They've kicked the crap out of those teams. They've beaten them way worse than similar teams in Indiana has played. So I think it's going to be a better game than a lot of people think. I do think Penn State's going to win like you. I think that they cover the spread, but I also think it's going to be a touchdown game back and forth throughout.
Yeah, well, you talk
I
about
thought you were just going to say, yeah, well, you're wrong.
You talk no, I'm going to give a really long-winded version of you're wrong. But you talk about confidence being such a big factor. We won't be able to measure this until next week and the week after and all that. But your confidence level is going to be so low after you've given picks like what you just said with Minnesota making it a game. It won't be a game. Penn State will destroy Minnesota, and therefore they're 8-0 conversations and things like that.
Out the window.
It's gone. Yeah, totally
Oof.
gone. But what you're saying about that, all that is true. I mean, the confidence level. Look, they've done great things for their program. The fact they can talk about being 8-0 is going to help Minnesota's recruiting. They're going to be able to recruit everybody north of South Dakota, so that's awesome for them. But they're not going to head down to Florida and steal a bunch of kids out of Florida and Texas just because it's Minnesota.
I just thought of something. When people watch this on Facebook Live later after we're done, and if they just see it in the Facebook page as it goes by, all they're going to see is a picture of me and you with all this beer behind us.
Yeah, that's okay.
And they're going to like, what the crap are they doing?
That's
but
okay.
Bill says Penn State by 14.
Yes, sir, Bill. You're on the money, buddy.
Jessica
Agree with
says, Jim, please make Todd answer the NASCAR question.
Jessica's family is very, very into NASCAR. So if I need any
Oh, is that
NASCAR
the
knowledge,
Jessica?
that's the Jessica.
Oh,
If I need any,
answer the NASCAR
if I need
question.
any NASCAR knowledge, I just ask her family. That makes it that simple because I don't know jack crud about it.
Is that from Indianapolis? Family Indianapolis?
No,
No?
Southwest Sticks, Virginia.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's right.
that's why she talks hillbilly, fluent hillbilly.
Well, my family moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, of all places,
Yeah.
back when I was
That's
in high
NASCAR.
school.
Yeah,
It's the hub.
that's the hub.
It's a hub,
Yeah.
man. My brother's a state trooper down there. He works all those big races and whatnot. But yeah, that is the hub.
Wait a minute, you know state trooper?
I do know one.
Jeez.
Well, actually, I know two. My ex-neighbor was
We'll
one
start
too.
being a lot more friendly to you.
That's right, man. Yeah, I've been down there, man. I've been on that
Usually
track.
real friendly with the popo.
The coolest thing about being on those tracks, if you stand in like turns 3, 4, or whatever, you could almost literally stand and bounce a basketball back at you like this. Yeah, it's a wild deal.
What do they call that? The angle?
The bank.
The
Banking.
bank? Yeah.
The
I
banking.
have been to Bristol. I've been to Bristol's track out there. That
That
is cool.
That's a bull ring, man.
That is.
That is a bull ring. 160,000 people. They had a football game there.
Yeah. Oh, Tennessee. And
I don't know why they don't do that more. I thought
agree.
it was cool as hell.
It was
man.
awesome.
Gee, I'd love to. I've been by that stadium, that track, but I've never been to it. Been in. I'd love to go to that race.
Oh, it's cool.
That would be fun. Talladega, cool. I love all that. See, Jessica, I watch NASCAR too, but we digress. Back to football. He can't name a driver. Todd can't. Can you name one driver, one active NASCAR driver? That's a great question. One.
Yeah, I mean,
one. I mean,
you know, like the big name drivers.
Like who? You can't name one.
Kyle Petty.
Active, not inactive for 20 years.
Richard Petty.
Not inactive for 40 years.
Tony Stewart.
Inactive for 5 years.
He's an Indiana guy.
Yes,
he's
from
inactive?
Columbus. He's an owner, but he's not. He hasn't driven for a few years.
What's the number 3 guy?
Dale Earnhardt.
Earnhardt.
Yeah, he died in
no,
2001.
Earnhardt Jr. Earnhardt Jr.
He
survived He's a plane crash survivor.
He's not driven for a couple years now.
Seriously?
You still have not hit one active driver.
Martin Truex Jr.
Ding! We have a winner. We have a winner. He is an active. Not only we have an active driver, you may have
Kyle Petty's walking across the street. Look at that.
You're not.
You see that?
It's more like Richard Petty.
Richard Petty.
Yeah, it does. He's got Richard Petty. It is. He's got the black cowboy hat on. Martin Truex Jr. is actually maybe
Kyle. There's a Kyle.
Kyle Busch.
Oh my God! Yeah. See, I could name a bunch of them. I just needed a little help.
Of course,
Need a little help.
We could have. Well, we could have done. There you go.
I can give you the car numbers. It's like
Jessica,
number
that is
14,
awesome.
and there's number 3.
She said, "Now we can go back to football now." Yeah. Just be happy that he didn't say Ricky Bobby.
I could give you some Ricky Bobby quotes.
She's got to be on here every time. What's
Go
your
back
favorite
to
Ricky
sleep,
Bobby
babe.
quote?
You ain't first, you're last.
Yeah, it's okay. That's
It
all right.
just fits in so many different facets of. You can use it all day long. I mean, it's not like it's the funniest quote that he had.
No, but it's a pretty funny movie. It's
Dear,
a stupid movie, but it's funny.
6 pound, 8 ounce baby Jesus.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, I can quote a lot of. If we're going to get into movie quotes, now you're talking about.
Man, we're getting so
Days of
far
Thunder.
off
I can
track.
quote a bunch of stuff out. Days of Thunder. I like that movie.
So you like these NASCAR movies, but you just don't follow NASCAR. So.
I do not follow NASCAR. I am. If there is NASCAR on, there's usually golf on, and I will 1,000,000% assure you, I would watch a golf match in southern China before
So
I
you
would
would
watch.
rather watch a game in which men hit, which I play, a ball with a stick, and then walk for 15 minutes to go find said ball.
Because
As
they
opposed
could
to
do
guys going
something
100
that you
miles
can't
an hour.
do. You and I are going to leave here. We're both going to drive a car. We could drive a car around this circle right out here in
Not at
front of
200 miles
Bloomington.
an hour. I could if you'd give me the opportunity, though. I'd put you in the wall. Boom, it'd be over.
Is there a way we could do this from a go-kart track somewhere?
Man, there,
'Cause
you know, hey,
sometimes
they
you
have
gotta-
Bloomington racetrack, dirt track. Yeah, the wall, baby. He'd be in the wall. Man, this has been fun.
It's driving a car. I don't think it's take me very
Jessica
long to
has
figure
be
it
on
out.
here every time because she is adding a comedic element to this. Makes it even better. Hey, feel free to hit us up on the text line 812-269-6367 or on Facebook Live. You can hit us up with the questions as well. Indiana basketball tomorrow, 2:00 at the Simon Scott Assembly Hall, taking on Portland State in their second game of their season. Indiana looked pretty good the other night against Western Illinois. Hopefully they'll see the same type of performance tomorrow afternoon. It's at 2:00. So Todd said that's the best time of the afternoon to play.
3:30 is the absolute best time. In perspective, 3:30 is the best time to play.
That's when that's kind of the major football games. Most of them going off at 3:30.
You know how you base that off of? Because that means you eat pregame meal at noon, which is a great time to eat. You've had time to get up and move around a little bit, and then you're hungry. Been through walkthrough at 10:30 or 11. Get to eat that pregame.
What was Bob Knight's game day regiment for the team? How was that set up?
I just told you. Everything was based on eating. So you based on eating 3.5 hours before the game. So then you had a walkthrough before that. And then the team bus left, or you had to be there roughly an hour and a half before the game.
What's your favorite story of somebody getting either left by the bus or not making the bus? You have one?
Coach Knight got off the bus in Martinsville and walked all the way back to Bloomington. Allegedly walked all the way back to Bloomington, is what we were told. But
when was that?
Missing the bus. That was on our drive home from getting beat by Butler my senior year. Yeah, it was ugly.
So you just yell at the bus driver, "Stop the damn bus, let me off."
He didn't have to yell. He sat right up there. I think we were at one of the stoplights in the cut through in the Martinsville area. And I don't think there was any explanation. I think he and Dr. Rink, just got off the bus. There wasn't any explanation. And I think the bus sat there for a minute, and guy didn't really know what to do. And I think Coach Dockage probably said, "Hit the gas, let's roll."
They didn't have cell phones back then.
No.
I mean, they were around, but most people probably didn't have them.
that big giant.
So
gray
Bob
one.
Knight does not have a cell phone. He doesn't have a flip phone in his pocket to call somebody to come pick him up.
No, I'm telling you, he didn't get back to Assembly Hall to talk to the rest of us for like 5 hours. But we were all still there. I can assure you of that.
What would happen if you all had not been there waiting for him?
Death. Death. For sure.
Death by execution.
Yeah. Death.
Hey, we're coming to you live from the Tap here in Bloomington, right off of Kirkwood Avenue. What a fun Friday. Jake, how are we doing on a break, man? Yeah, it's let's do that.
We've gone break free for quite a while.
I know, man. It's free flowing conversation. Hey, we got a lot more coming up here on Indiana Sports Speed with Coyle and Leary, Todd Leary, Jim Coyle coming to you here on this beautiful Friday in Bloomington. We're back with more on Indiana Sports Speed Radio right after this. Hello, everybody. Jim Coyle from Indiana Sports Beat. When I'm not covering the Hoosiers, you can find me at Bubba's 33 in Clarksville, located on the northeast corner of I-65 at Veterans Parkway. Bubba's 33 has hand-tossed pizzas, bold burgers, and ice-cold beer from a select list of local craft brewers. An incredible food selection, all made fresh daily. Whether you're meeting the team for that post-win meal in the family dining area or meeting friends for happy hour to watch the game on one of Bubba's 50 TVs. Bubba's 33 in Clarksville. Pizza, burgers, beer.
We all want a winning smile for those championship photos, and that's exactly what you will get at Reynolds Family Dentistry in Sellersburg. Reynolds Family Dentistry has been serving the dental needs of Hoosier families for over 30 years. Let Doctors Roger and Jay Reynolds take care of your family. Just off of I-65 at 809 South Indiana Avenue in Sellersburg. Call 812-246-3368. That's Reynolds Family Dentistry, 812-246-3368.
Now that warm weather has arrived, it's time to hit the links, and there's no better place than the golf club at Eagle Point in Bloomington. Voted best golf course by the readers of the Bloomington Herald-Times, the golf club at Eagle Point is under new ownership, has new fairways and bunkers, and it's open to the public. When the round's over, there's cold beer and a full menu at the Eagle Point Pub and Bistro. Call 812-824-1100 to make a tee time. That's 812-824-1100. The golf club at Eagle Point in Bloomington.
This is AJ Moye.
This is Dan Dockett.
Hey, this is Michael Lewis, former Indiana basketball player.
This is Indiana football coach Tom Allen.
This is Jim Coyle with the Indiana Sports Beat. You can always like and follow us on Facebook. Always follow the show rebroadcast on iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spotify. TheDailyHoosier.com is a great place to sign up for each and every day. Or, of course, on 97.7 The Ref in Evansville. For the best recycling and waste removal service, turn to the area's leader, Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling, a homegrown company serving southern Indiana since 1995. Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling serves Floyd, Clark, Harrison, and Washington counties. For excellent service and peace of mind, call Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling today at 812-944-5642. That's 812-944-5642. Keep life sweet with Sweetland Waste Removal and Recycling.
I'm Rain Shaddy, and I'm a Hoosier. As a toddler, you could always find me running around in a cream and crimson onesie and a red IU hat reminiscent of those worn during the world-famous William Tell timeout, shouting, "Go Hoosiers!" Like many other alum, I chose to make Bloomington my home. As a civic and alumni leader, I have become very knowledgeable about our community and would love to share my insights with you as your realtor. Find me on Facebook or call or text me, Ryan Shaddy, with FC Tucker Bloomington Realtors at 765-623-9093.
You're on the line with Jamal Meeks, former Indiana Hoosier, number 23, 1992. And I'm on the beat with Jim Coyle.
Welcome back to Indiana Sports Beat Radio, coming to you live from the tap here in Bloomington, right off of Kirkwood Avenue. Adrian's rocking the joint out. Todd Leary, Jim Coyle with you as always. We're going to make Adrian come over and tell you what's going on at the tap this weekend. Shaking her head, no, she's afraid. She's running by. She's literally running out. Manager here at the tap doing. We're so grateful for the hospitality it's shown. They have trivia on Tuesdays here, man.
I think they have trivia more than one day, don't they?
I don't know.
It
Maybe.
seemed like it was.
I don't know. Adrian didn't tell us.
Yeah, that's true. Good point. Wes will tell us.
Right.
We'll get Wes on tomorrow. He'll tell us.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah, I know they do it on Tuesday because they were doing it when we were
They
here.
were,
but,
and it was well attended too. This place was packed.
It was packed. It was loud, man. It was
loud.
It was great. We'll be back here on Saturday afternoon after the game with Todd Leary, of course. That should be around 4:15. The game's at 2:00 at Simon Scott Assembly Hall, so roughly about 2 hours getting that done. Then after that, beginning next Tuesday, Yogi's is open, man, and we will be coming to you live from Yogi's for after the game with Todd Leary. For those looking forward to that, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. About to wrap things up here. Todd's pick this weekend, man. He said bet the farm on LSU over Alabama. And
if you need to do some little kicker picks, I got two for you. Penn State and Texas.
Who's Texas play?
Kansas State.
What's the spread on that?
7.
Really? Texas hadn't done much this year, have they?
The home game for Texas. Kansas State's been smacking people lately.
They beat Oklahoma. They beat the crap out of Oklahoma.
The real bet in that game is probably the over, but I think you just got to take Texas at home.
Texas, K-State.
I took Texas 2 road teams
and the over.
Texas in the over. Yep.
Texas in a road game.
No. I took LSU road team. I'm taking Penn State road team. I'm taking one home team with Texas.
How about that? Hey, let us know if you enjoyed this. We did a little something different today when we simulcasted the Facebook Live from the morning.
We're allowed to say there's a possibility I might be making those picks from a legit place where you're allowed to make those picks. It could happen. It could just might happen sooner than you think.
We'll wait till that gets closer.
Sooner than you think.
But hopefully so. Looking forward to that. But, yeah, we're back here for after the game with Todd Leary for the IU basketball postgame show, the only postgame show that emanating from Indiana, especially right here in Bloomington. So, to go no further than the man, Todd Leary, former player for IU basketball, former Final Four player. Man, I get so many questions, people, about that stinking Duke game. That's something that will live in forever, man. And you come in and knocking those.
Had we won, it would have been awesome to talk about. But truly, losses were so bad. I'm glad it happened. I'm glad I did it.
I've always said that the thrill of victory pales in comparison to the pain and agony of defeat.
It's not even close. Not even remotely close. The wins are not near as fun as how terrible the losses are.
We hope everybody enjoyed the show today. Like I said, it's a little different. We went live on location, so we had fun. Todd Leary joining us all day, and hopefully that'll be happening a lot more frequently soon.
You just never know.
Just never know what's going to go on. But big game Indiana off this weekend in football with a bye as they take on Penn State next weekend. We'll be talking about that game all week. Looking forward to that. But in preparation, the Penn State Nittany Lions, they have a big game of their own up in Minneapolis against the Golden Gophers of Minnesota. Both teams 8-0. College football playoff implications is Penn State's currently sitting number 4 in that, and Minnesota's number 17. But they have to win out.
Not for long.
They've got to win out. Yeah, not for very long. But that's going to pretty much wrap it up. Thanks to Jake for keeping us on the track. Thanks to Adrian. Thanks to Wes. Thanks to Nathan. Thanks to everybody at the Finney Hospitality Group and here at the Tap. We've had a great time. Looking forward to be back here tomorrow and then at Yogi's from then on forth. But it's been fun, man.
It has been. Awesome. Love it.
Until the next time, I'm Jim Coyle, and I will see you on the radio.
Take your medicine. I create